ametuamini, Mungu ametuona tunafaa katika jamii. Tunaweza kufanya makubwa. Mwanamke si dhaifu, mwanamke ana nguvu, mwanamke ana ufahamu, mwanamke ana akili nyingi ya kufanya mambo makubwa sana, ya kufanya vitu vingi kwa wakati mmoja. Ni ufahamu wa pekee Mungu amemupa, ni ufahamu wa pekee Mungu ametupa. Ndio maana tunasema sisi tunaweza. Mwanamke ni chanzo cha mafanikio mema katika familia, katika nchi yake, katika jamii inayomzunguka. Palipo na mafanikio, mwanamke yuko mbele. Tunaweza, tunaweza, wanawake, wanawake, tunaweza, wanawake. Sisi ni majasiri, Mungu ametuamini, wanawake. Tunaweza jamani, tunaweza, wanawake, wanawake, tunaweza, wanawake. Kufanya maajabu katika jamii, wanawake. Tunaweza jamani, tunaweza, wanawake, wanawake, tunaweza, wanawake. Vitabu vitakatifu vimeandikwa, wanawake ni jeshi kubwa katika maendeleo, ni jeshi kubwa katika ubunifu, ni jeshi kubwa katika malezi, ni jeshi kubwa katika uongozi, ni jeshi kubwa kwenye uchumi, ni jeshi kubwa. Wanawake, 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 ha! Wanawake ni chanzo cha amani, wanawake ni chanzo cha utulivu ulimwenguni. Tukilipanga jambo lazima tutimize. Wanawake sisi tunaweza, wanawake tujiamini, tunaweza, wanawake. Tufunge mkanda tupambane, tunaweza, wanawake. Ni kweli tunaweza, wanawake. Usijidharau, tunaweza, wanawake. Mungu ametuamini, tunaweza, wanawake. Sisi wa thamani, tunaweza, wanawake. Wanawake, tunaweza, wanawake. Sisi wanawake, tunaweza, wanawake. Awi, awi.
It's a great pleasure having you on EBN TV. This is the Spheres of Life. And I'm glad you're watching from different parts of this country and maybe from abroad. Thank you for staying tuned and thank you for feeling free and feeling ready to listen to our stream tonight. Our social media platforms will always remain TLP TV on YouTube and Jeff Somba the Legend on Facebook. And on the Spheres of Life, every day we make sure there is transparency, there is objectivity, and there is sanity in every story that we're making here. So wherever you are, kindly send your comment, share, and you can also spread all this we are doing here on EBN TV to make sure that we have great visibility, we have great watching from different people and great perspectives and different ones from different people. So here on the Spheres of Life, we still make sure that we understand every meander that we go through in life, and every challenge that you find going through, we make sure that you still uncover. Today is a great day that we partake the second part of leadership in women, and we are going to uncover, we are going to make sure that some of the things that you don't understand last Sunday, we shall cover and you shall still understand. I'm glad to have you. I'm glad to host you tonight. I'm Jeff Kimayo. If you want to call me the legend, you can do that, because this is a legend with a story, and this is EBN TV. We have Lilian Wanjiru. She's health promotion strategist at Metropolitan. She shall be helping us to understand much more on leadership in women, and we shall be combining with women in leadership at the same time. So Lilian, welcome to EBN TV tonight.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, how was your day?
It was so fine.
Yeah, very good, very busy here and there. It was a day of service and we did where we were supposed to do.
Okay.
Yes. So that is what we normally do here every day, to make sure that we cover some of the stories that we feel that can help a society or a village and even a community to grow in one way or the other. And we are doing this in leadership tonight, and this being part 2 of what we left last time. And for to make a kind of an opener to what we're doing tonight, what is leadership in women?
Yes.
So you want to mean we need to have unity in terms, or even we need to incorporate leadership or women unity in leadership so that they can show up in numbers in the positions that we have in different forums.
Yes.
Okay, deliberate on that.
Okay. Women, what I mean to say by unity, this way, by instead of fighting the women who are already up there, women are supposed to support them who are already women are supposed to support the women who are already up, and also help to bring others up, because what you see happening, for example, in the current society today, instead of cheering up who are the women who are rising already, we find most people trying to like trivialize what they do, criticize and bring them down. Yeah. And
we last week we saw the ousting of Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza. How do you take of that? And noting that she's a governor, she's in a bigger position in terms of politics, and we see once something happens in such a sort, maybe there is a loss or a disadvantage that takes place in the forum or even in the space of women in leadership. What do you take of ousting of Kawira Mwangaza? Kawira Mwangaza is the governor. She was the governor of Meru. She was ousted. Yeah, she's the ex-governor. Now, what are some of the things that could have made her be ousted?
Okay. First of all, my honest feeling, as a fellow woman, and a Kenyan, I really felt that was so unfair of her. And as I said earlier, Jeff, it's really sad to see that, you know, we still live in a world where people feel like women are less worth. Male chauvinism is still existing. So for me, it was such an unfair thing for her. Because for me, I really didn't see any solid reason for her to, you know, to be kicked out. Yeah, so I really felt that she deserved a chance. Yes.
A second chance, because this is not happening the first time. This can be that's okay. That's an okay. Let's not move that direction too far. But we talked about threats on women in leadership or even aspiring to be leaders, and we have the factor of mentorship. What do you think is the role of mentorship in women in leadership?
One, mentorship will always help you to do away with fear, because fear has always been the greatest enemy. You know, where women feel that they are kind of inferior, where women feel that they cannot, most especially in a world where men has always dominated. So mentorship help women to believe in themselves. It helps them to navigate their way up easily. It also helps them to network. Networking is very, very key when it comes to leadership, because you always need people. You know, we say that your social network is your social network. Okay,
so there are people or there are women who like you've been watching someone and you've been wanting them to be, or before, or even before you know them, you just see them maybe on here, you see them not in physical status, but you've been wanting to look as they are. And there are women out there who are feeling like we have to mentor women into leadership. What are some of the challenges and disadvantages that we have in women wanting to do mentorship in ladies that want to be up into political positions?
You know, the very, very first challenge they face is finding people who are willing to be mentored in the first place. Because all said and done, leadership is not something that most women are ready to do because of the very poor mindset that most women themselves have about themselves. So the first thing is lack of people who are willing, you know, to take the risk. Because if you're not ready to be helped, you cannot be helped. That is one. Secondly is criticism.
Yeah.
Criticism has always, for a very long time, it has affected women. So you feel like, well, this particular woman has been in leadership position. For example, what you said with Kawera, then she happened to fail. So people will definitely speak negatively, and that will make her feel like, even if I mentor this, for example, even if I mentor Lilian, maybe she will fail because of what people have said. Yeah. So that is
and the advantages of doing so. Because you're not an island and you cannot lead alone.
I agree.
As you said, you need to network, you need to know a lot of people. Because sometimes when it comes to even campaigning periods, you need to have a lot of people to make sure that they back you up and to make sure that they spread we may not call them the good news as far as the political leadership is concerned, but we can say as far as spreading their narrative is concerned. So what is the advantage of mentoring women?
When you mentor women, we will have more women in leadership. And having more women in leadership will simply mean that the leadership styles and mechanism will be more efficient. Because remember what we said last Sunday, women are by nature empathetic. Women easily bring about the aspect of collaboration. Women easily are able to easily connect with the needs of the people. So advantage of mentoring women into leadership will help the leadership of a country, of an organization, of every single given institution to be more effective, and to be more applicable to people in a way that they'll be able to feel considered. Yes.
Okay. Now we still continuing, but last week where we had our president having Nairobi development tour. What can you make of that? Is it a development tour, or do you look like it as if 2027 campaigns are still kicked off?
Honestly, I don't want to say it's 2027 campaign. It's so early for us to judge. Well, I think what the president is doing is, for me, I think he's trying to, to relate and connect with these people, because remember, this is something that he has already lost. Remember his reputation, all the names that you've called him. So I think it's just a way of trying to reconnect with these people and maybe to gain trust, which seems to already be lost.
But I'm wanting to see it is dubbed development tour, Nairobi development tour. So how does it come? It's about connectivity or connecting back to AS people.
Well, you see, tour is just a word like any other. So it's not about the word. It's about what we see you doing. So from what I saw, I really didn't see something that is about development really as per se.
So you want to say this is kind of 2027 campaigns that have kicked off.
Before we go to campaign, he must win back the trust of people, because as per now that is what is lacking. So in my view, he's just trying to kind of win the trust of people. Yes. Okay,
and on that note, you are still promised a machine that could prepare chapatis. I don't know whether it's true or is the memes that you're still receiving from everywhere. But on that note, what I wanted to quote, it's not that I just wanted to go that direction, but one thing I did mention at that Nairobi development tour is we got a lot of losses. We got deaths, and we got a lot of insecurities from what he was doing, and a lot of promises that were pledged. Now, there is someone who is willing to be a political leader and I think campaigns should be done for only 3 months. The official campaigning period should be like 3 months. And now you can see something looking like, and we can quote it, like a campaign from this far. And there's someone who has got maybe 100,000 somewhere, and they feel they want to start campaigning sometimes before or very close to official campaigning period. And this is a lady, this is a woman. Do you think it is looking like a challenge when our leaders that are still in current position, do you think it is looking like a threat for women leaders who want to aspire for leadership?
Definitely, it's a threat, but you see, Jeff, it only becomes a threat when you allow it to be a threat. Well, definitely, I also don't approve of what the president is doing. Obviously, it's a threat, but you see, for me as a woman, I believe that what affects me is what I believe, is what I allow to sink in me. So yes, it might be a threat in a way, but again, for a woman who is out there aspiring to get into leadership position, come 2027, don't give up. It's never too late until the sun goes down. Yeah, it might be a threat, but come on, better try and fail.
Okay, that's also right, and that's a great encouragement to someone who wanted to be in leadership part. As we said, when it comes to leaders, to our politics in our country, it may become a challenge for a lady who wants to become a leader. And on that note, how do you describe the scope, the discipline, and the behavior of our Kenyan politics?
You know, first of all, I don't like Kenyan politics so much. I used to be a lover of politics until this Gachagua things happened, and I felt confused, all of a sudden. Not because I was supporting Gachagua or I was not supporting them. I've always been a neutral person, but there are things that happen in the political space, and you see, absolutely, even for a kid, this is not making sense. And so I really don't want to say that in terms of politics that as Kenya, we are where we are supposed to be. I think we still have a long journey. We still have a long way to go. Yeah, and you see, our main problem is this, Jeff. We need leaders, but every time we go to vote, we always vote for politicians. It's like we always plant a mango tree and always expect to reap oranges. It can never happen. So definitely, I really don't like our system political-wise, but there is always room for improvement. Let's hope for the better. Maybe one day things will align.
Okay, what is the difference between a politician and a leader?
Many other differences, Jeff. When you speak about politics, first, let us first understand the meaning of leadership. Most people believe that leadership is all about hierarchy. I am the MP of, I am the MCA of, and that is where we get it wrong. Leadership is all about service. Leadership is all about winning trust of people and making people believe that you can lead, that you can make them go where they are supposed to go, not where you want them to go. Now, in our political space, the opposite happens. In the orientation of many people, it's all about, being at a given position and then exercising authority over people. There is a difference. Because what we call politicians, I'll call them manipulators. Yes. Okay.
Okay, I'll come back to that because there is something that we've not cleared about the Kenyan politics. What are the requirements for you to become a politician in Kenya, even before you get to the point of you being a leader? Because there are what we need, or there are the necessities so basic for you to become a political leader in our country. And we're doing this inclining too much on women because we want to encourage them to be in positions so that we can see, because maybe we are used to what men have been doing, and you clearly say that what a man can do, you can do it better. So we want to make sure that you people, as you do promise us that you can do the same, we want to see that you can get to the position that men have reached and you surpass the same. So what are the requirements that you need to have before you venture into politics
in Kenya? Okay, what happens, most especially in Kenya, it's like the only thing they look at is, do you have a degree? Yes. Then are you influential? basically that, which I also think is wrong.
Yeah.
There is more to it. As I said last Sunday, there is more to it than papers. It cannot be about the degree. You know, you have to prove that you really can. If I were to have power and determine, or rather come up with a policy that will be guiding people who will be coming into into politics, I want a person who is proven to be to be socially intelligent. That is one. I want a person who is who can be trusted, who is not corrupt.
Yeah.
I want a person who is empathetic, who can be able to relate with the needs of people, who can be able, you know, to in a way connect with them. Yes.
Okay. Now we've seen leaders in position right now, and they're still working, and well, sometimes it's good to have a manifesto, but again, I also say these people should not give us manifesto, because they do a big manifesto, a very promising manifesto, and later we see that nothing is done in the manifesto. And because we have the right to oversight as citizens, the moment you do oversight, you find that there are a lot of kickbacks. You're told not to do this, you abducted, you have done this, you have done this. Do you have the right? What is the position of us citizens in recalling our leaders, or making sure that we oversight and what we do, or rather, are we supposed to criticize every action that our leaders involve themselves in?
You know, when it comes to bringing change, Jeff, criticism is the least effective mechanism. It has never worked since the world began. You know, when you criticize a person, you'll always you've just given them an opportunity to come up with another way of tormenting you. So I believe criticism will never work. And because it's us who own the power, like it's us who make them, you know, get into those political positions. I think we need to change our mindset. The moment we will understand what exactly we need them to do, we require from our politicians. From that day, we'll be able to know who to put in position and who not to. From that day, we'll stop this thing of choosing a person because amekuja ametupia pesa, or because he or she comes from a very wealthy family. The moment we'll understand that, we'll be able now to have the right direction, because in as much as we blame our politicians, we also play a very large part in making them tormentors. Yes, because we choose wrong. Yes.
Okay. Now, advise us on how not to choose the wrong.
First of all, don't really, you know, I really look forward to the day where Kenyans will stop to be so much money-oriented. I come from a village, and from what I saw, I think it was the last election, you see politician coming from nowhere with a lot of money, giving anakupia 500, and you see that thing, Jeff, it's so powerful. Ikiingia kwa akili yako, I'll choose this person because alikuja na hii, or I'll choose him or her because alikuja na bag ya ugari, ama alitupia shuka. You know, I don't like to say that is the mindset of a person who thinks small, but that is not a reason enough for you to put a person in leadership. One. Secondly, just because someone is said to be wealthy doesn't really mean that they deserve to be in leadership position. It really doesn't mean. I had someone reasoning like this. If we choose a person who has money already, when you get into the leadership position, he will not be greedy because he already has the money. Forgetting that when it comes to money and wealth matters, human beings will never be satisfied. You see, so you see, it's a wrong mindset. It's a wrong orientation. So we need to shift from that. We need to stop electing politicians and start electing leaders. Yes.
Okay, and I think your point was we stop electing leaders that give some kind of incentives if it is not made to help generally a whole society. Because one thing I noted is, or even you can say something on the issue of the poverty that maybe we have from our rural areas, plus the privilege, or even the kind of we are so desperate, like we're lacking something to take tonight, or even in the morning, in the lunchtime. during supper time, and you find, because there is nothing that I have in my pocket, I don't have work, I don't have any property, and remember, even if you have any property, there is no way you're selling the property for a stomach gain or even for the stomach purposes. So I want you to what is the rate of poverty that we have in our country that pushes for us to receive 100 shillings for only 3 months, and that is gone? The moment these people are set, that is gone.
And you see, that understanding is what most of these politicians have, and that is what exactly they take advantage of, because they know, you know, that the margin between the rich and the poor in Kenya is just too large.
Yeah, sure.
It's too large. If you're to get a person mwenye ametoka ushago and another person mwenye ametoka Kiririshwa, even their reasoning, their view of things is so different. So you'll always find the Kiririshwa guy trying to take advantage of the village person, and more often than not, unfortunately, they always manage to. It's a very sad state of affair.
Yeah.
So, what do I say again?
Do people get money from politicians, or do they stop? And which mechanism do they use so that they can stop receiving all these?
I think we should stop. It's a high time we show them that you are not as desperate as they think. And you see, again, we rather suffer for a short time and put the right position in leadership, because from there we'll be able to have our lives lifted, rather than enjoy for a very short time. And this is what has always happened in Kenya. We enjoy for a very short time during the campaigning season, and then we suffer for 4 years. You'll always enjoy for 1 year, suffer for 4 years. Enjoy for another 1 year, suffer for 4 years. You know, it doesn't really make sense. Rather suffer for 1 year and enjoy for 4 years.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
That's very true. Suppose we get the money, how are we supposed to behave? Because a leader will come, and there are very low chances that once they give the money, we reject. Now suppose we receive the money. What are we supposed to do after we receive the money? What are some of the things that we are supposed to do to make sure that, yes, the money does not manipulate us to where we're not supposed to be?
As I said last week, please try and be a free thinker. I'll not tell you not to take the money. I'll also take the money, but then be a free thinker. You know, think away from the money.
Yeah.
Money is not a reason enough for a person to get a political seat.
Yeah.
Me, I will say, get the money. If the money, then choose the right person. Yes. Alileta pesa juu ako nayo, ujaibia mtu. Kula but isikuingia kwa akili. But if kukula pesa itafinya uchizi mtu mbaya, then usikule.
You better not receive the 20 shillings and your shillings, because I said last time there is a scenario where I got a leader giving out 1 packet of unga, and the rest of the things that accompany ugali or ugalai, you have to sort out yourself. And you wonder, someone is not working maybe for a whole day because they're waiting for a leader or for a politician who is coming to campaign, and maybe trash like 50 shillings to every person they meet on the way, or the crowd and we have sycophants who make sure that they organize for the politicians that they go to the villages. So I think there are some of the people who make sure that these people are lured into the same trap. And okay, we just move on with now we've seen that trend with a lot of men leaders currently. Now, what do you think a woman or a lady leader would do, or a lady politician would do, to make sure that these things are not done? And if they are done, and if they even trash out the money, they still do what they're supposed to do?
Well, as I said earlier on, Jeff, a woman is by nature empathetic. Well, even if you a woman will come and give you money and in a way convince you to make them get into a political seat, you'll see the behaviors of women in leadership being quite different. Because a woman is able to connect with you. You know, when a woman is looking at you, Jeff, she is seeing her son, not just a normal Kenyan, a normal Kenyan. No, a woman will see her son. So even in terms of decision making, and in terms of the decision making, she will be able to ensure that what she's doing to you is the same thing that she can do to to her son. Sorry. Yeah. So you feel that this having women in leaders it's so effective. And again, most women, what I've seen from the past, you'll rarely see a woman coming to give you money. Oftenly, they buy ungas, they buy shukas, vitu kama hizo. Yeah, so it's quite much better with a woman than with a man, not to judge men though. Yes.
Okay. So we have something called workplace equality. And maybe as we speak, when it comes to statistics, you find few women in leadership than men. You find men are still topping, they are topping, but when it comes to performance, it's still low. And maybe wherever you find, maybe in a company, and maybe the company, and we want to quote the company where you find politicians, you find there is no work equality, or even something is not moving well, as we need to have the balance between men and women in leadership. So what is work equality?
Work equality is whereby whatever advantages you avail to men, you avail to women. So in work equalities, gender does not matter. An employee is an employee. A politician is a politician. Yes.
Okay. Now, what about the positions that these different people are held in political seats?
Whereby you find that more often than not, men have more political position as compared to women. Which is not a very good thing. That is why I said earlier on, women, we need to have unity. We need to come out and show the world that we can, because again, in as much as we keep on complaining, we are having more men in leadership than women. If we come out and say that we can do this, the only option that men will have is to just accept it for what it is. Yes.
Okay. Now, before we go further, remember, you're watching EBN TV. This is the Spheres of Life. I'm Jeff Kimayu with Lilian Wanjiru. She's a health promotion strategist at Metropolitan Hospital, and tonight's topic is leadership in women against women in leadership. We are trying to understand, why should women be in leadership, and why should they hold positions as compared to men in leadership, and what changes do these people bring when they are given the opportunity, the chance, and the space to express their leadership? Keep tuned, share your comment, and we shall read it in a short while. So Lilian, we have some challenges here, because the moment we see someone in a position, we've already learned them, we are used to them, and we are used to men. What do you think women will do in political leadership? What changes do they put?
When we put more women in the political spaces, well, imagining that today we are having a president like Suluhu, for example, in Kenya today, we'll have less controversies, because looking at a woman like Suluhu, have you ever heard her in any form of controversial? No. Reason being, she's busy doing what she's supposed to be doing, rather than being there trying to prove a point to people. As I said, what we suffer in Kenya is the presence of politicians who in their mind believe that they are leaders. You see? So I think, and I believe that women will do much more better than men. Also, in consideration that they easily bring the aspect of collaboration, unity, and awareness. Also, in consideration that they will easily relate to the needs of people. Let me give you an example of what is happening today. Sorry to use it as an example. I was watching the story of the daughter, Margaret daughter.
I was to come to that.
It really has taken a lot of pressure from Kenyans for our government to act. If it were a woman who was in leadership, do you really think it will cost Kenyans that much energy? No. Because a woman will try to connect and say, if this was my daughter, what could I have done? Because a woman can do everything it takes to save her child. Yes. So,
okay, so you trust that at the moment you're given positions, you have to impact change.
We will. That is a sure bet. Not even trust, it's a fact.
Okay. Yeah. That's okay. And in politics and even in the companies that people work for, we have some changes. What are the changes that a company or like the leaderships that we have, like political ones, what changes can we put in place to make sure that we have gender inclusive or kind of equality in our companies or in our political positions? Yeah.
First, you have to embrace a culture where inclusion is part of. Inclusion, by inclusion, I mean, as I said earlier, it doesn't matter whether it's a man or a woman, because, again, as I said, male chauvinism is still dominating our country and our society at large. So we need to do away with that mentality that is now odd. Women, because from I'm looking at the woman of today. She's a person who has been educated. Yeah. We are so much exposed, and we, it's not the woman who was there in the 20th century. The 21st century woman is empowered, is educated. There is nothing we cannot do. So we have to do away with that mentality of it's only men who are supposed to be in position. Secondly, as I said earlier, mentorship program for women in various companies and nations. And institutions. Yes.
What about some men being paid higher than women?
Which is still a problem, which it's really sad. Because, oftenly it happens. You feel that even as a woman, you'll work so hard, but the credit will always go to a man. Obviously, as a boss, who will you pay most? The man, because the man has the credit, but who worked? It's a woman. The woman. Yeah, that is why we need to come up and claim this is what I did. Yeah. Yes, and this is what I deserve to be paid for. Yeah, we need to stop chickening out. Yeah, and stand up for who we are. Okay,
and we are living in a world that is so evolving, and matters technology, matters culture. And maybe societal pressures, and maybe political evolutions. And where we are as women leadership is not where we started. I thought of there's this lady, Mekatilili Wamenza, and other people from that age. And these people are not many. We can also mention who is currently living, although she's not the age of Mekatilili, like Kaluki Ngilu has been in politics for a very long time, and we've seen how politics were then and how they are this. What are the changes you think? Do you think you have evolved? Do you think you're growing as women in leadership?
Not to say that we are growing. We have grown.
You've grown.
Yeah, we are there. Yes.
Okay. You can explain us how you've grown and how far you've grown from where I'm to where. So that we see the moment we try to campaign for women to be in leadership, and as you walk through your narrative that you can do better than men, we want to prove, or even we want to know, you've made some steps from one point to the other, and from this note we can realize that you're still moving further as you promise. So what are the changes that you've done, and what are you aspiring to do to make sure that women, we believe that the moment you put in positions, you can still hold the stand all through?
The woman of today, Jeff, as compared to the woman who was there previously, the earlier woman was just a housewife. We are seeing women who've fought their way up. We are seeing women who are president of very big organizations. We are seeing women who are landlords, landladies. We are seeing women who are fighting for their spaces. Like, we are no longer the masses of men today. Reason being, as I said, education. We are now utilizing our digital spaces to build ourselves and to keep on growing ourselves. Networking for women is now becoming easy. Yesterday I was watching a program on women empowership, and by the reason of how the women are reasoning, you can tell that we are really going somewhere. That is why I said last Sunday, in 10-20 years time, I'm foreseeing a country where if the man is the CEO of a company, then the woman is the founder. Yes, I'm really praying and hoping for such an overtaking in women, but I'm so sure it will come to pass.
But does it have to look like a competition kind of a race? No,
it's actually not competition. It's just that, women by nature, we carry force. It's just that for long, we've been made to believe that we cannot. We've been made to believe that women are, inferior than men. The moment we manage to fight that mindset, that is it. Yes. Okay. So it's not competition, it's nature. Yes.
Okay. I see it. Once you're given it, you can still move on. And we have the issue of education and awareness into women leadership. What can it do? What can education and awareness do to you women entering leadership?
Education exposes your mind. Education happens to, enlarge your reasoning capacity and changes the way you see things and view life. So education will help you to be molded, to be a woman who can be trusted to lead a nation, to lead an organization, and whichever place that leadership in women is needed. So that is the role of education. Then you said about awareness.
Yes.
Awareness of what a woman can do,
Yes.
of her strength.
Yeah.
Yes, it will help her to, have her self-esteem to be elevated. Yes, because as we said, women have for long believed that made to believe that she can't, whereas we really can. Yes.
Okay. Coming back, we shall have. We want to know what is the inspiration for the next generation in leadership, and how do we do to make sure that we shape these people into leadership, and these are ladies. And remember, you're watching EBN TV, the Spheres of Life. Tonight's topic is leadership in women / women in leadership. I'm reading some of your comments, and if you've not done so, you can still do so that we can mention you comment on air. And every time we start with Diana Mwanya, you deserve a medal. We've good evening. Our host is Lilian Islands, well represented. Thank you, Diana. We've Douglas again. I think he's the second viewer. Welcome our guest. Thank you, Pastor Douglas. We've Douglas again watching from Arambi Estate. Ken Olesaina following. We have and then Felicitas tuned in. We have Cheryl Magani following. Dan Kisilu saying it's awesome. We've Peter Kigira tuned in from Kasarani. We've Bishop Daniel Muli joining from Nairobi, Kenya. We've Waidera Wanyahe following. Thank you, Waidera. We've Jane Shikma. We've Karen. You saying that you following. If you've still not sent your comment, you can still do so. Remember, this is the leadership in women, and we're still progressing with the topic, and we want to know what is the scope of the generation that we shall have next in our leadership. And we have Lilian on board who will help us understand how the next generation will look like, and what motivations do you give to the next generation to make sure that we mold them into the leaders that we need. And this is leadership in women. So Lilian, welcome back. And we want to know what inspirations do you give to the next generation? And next generation, sometimes you may say, I want to make my future good, I want to make my future better, I want to get out of the struggles that I've been going through. And you do that, people don't notice that future is from now as we're sitting. So what inspiration do you give to women leaders who are in leadership and who are still not in leadership, and more so those are yet to be in leadership? What inspiration do you give to them?
First of all, we have to develop resilience, because I don't want to promise them that it's gonna be easy anyway.
Yeah,
As I said earlier, we'll have to fight for a space, of which you are doing. You're coming up well. So resilience will be needed in leadership. So anyone in leadership is a woman, and anyone who's an upcoming woman leader, resilience will be required. And the good news is that as days go, as life continues to unfold, and as days go on, we're having more women in leaders. So we're having more chances of, having people who will help you to rise, who will hold your hand. So there is hope for the future. Just believe that you can. Ensure that you are resilient. Ensure that you have what it takes. As I said last Sunday, you need to be socially intelligent, you need to be emotionally intelligent, you need to be objective. Have those qualities with you. Embrace resilience. The future is bright for women leadership.
There's a promise.
Yeah.
There's a blueprint leaders that want to be in leadership as women. And sometimes to make sure that you grow, you need to compare yourself with something. You need to watch yourself as you grow. You need to notice. There is a measure that you need to have within yourself to make sure that I note a change and not a development. And in Kenya, we have women leaders already, and we have those who are incoming, and we have now the global view of leadership. How do you compare Kenya and the globe in leadership politically?
Well, Kenya, I want to think that as Kenyan we are trying in terms of women leadership.
Yes.
Though, as I said earlier, we are really not yet there. I'm looking forward to the day where we'll have a woman as a president, which I believe is possible. So comparing Kenya with other countries like Tanzania, and in other European nations, I'll say we kinda lagging behind. Yeah, but we're trying.
Yes, we're trying. Now that you're lagging behind, what are some of the things that you need to do to make sure that you wake up? Because I think, and I would feel like now the whistle is blown, and you have to wake up. Now, let's know that you're waking up. And how do you wake up? Yeah.
You know, by raising our voices. Because for long, a woman has been, I don't want to use the word timid, but for lack of a better word, let me use it. The women have for long been timid. And also remember, you're looking at a woman who is also expected to perform. You know, it's a woman who holds a family. So you're looking at a woman who is supposed to build her family, who is expected to afford time to build herself, and now fight for for her space in leadership. I know sometimes we may not always afford the time, but also as a woman, you're supposed to master the art of delegation. Learn what is more important to you. I was telling another person yesterday that it's not important for you to, it's not always compulsory for you to do house chores. If you can be able to delegate that, for example, as simple as it is, you can delegate that and go for a class, for example, or for an empowerment seminar for women. You know, you never know, but the things you learn there, the points you get, the person you're refined to be, you know, it really helps. So it's a high time that we learn to delegate. It's a high time that, as I said earlier, we come together and stop being timid, raise our voices. Yes.
Okay, that's great. Moving forward, and we have, as you aspire to be a leader, you have to learn from someone who has been there for a very long time. And there's something we used to call apprenticeship. It's like learning from someone. You have to watch very keenly, and after you do that, you have to copy paste the same into yourself. Moving forward, you need to be in political leadership, and now into leadership minus the politics now, to make sure that you get a society and a country out of maybe a certain menace or maybe a certain darkness that has been for a very long time. How do you expect? What are the traits? What are the characteristics of you people that we expect to see and accept that and believe and stamp it in ourselves that we people, after we give you these opportunities, that you still moving on and you shall do it well? And that, I think, will be the last thing, then we call it a show. Yes.
One of the things that you can expect from a woman is honesty and openness. More often than not, women are so honest. I know that someone may disagree with that, but that is who we are. You know, who do you see in a woman? Because I'm so sure that men will fight this. What you see in a woman is a reflection of what you give her. But inherently, we are honest. We are and you are very open people. So with honesty and openness, you can expect that the issues of corruption will go low. Secondly, you'll also expect to see a world where youths have been empowered, where youths are not so much into drugs, because we'll make decisions that will help our youths to find their purposes in life, to have a direction, to have definiteness in life. Yes, so you can expect that the Gen Zs of that time, where women will be dominating, will not have to always riot. Yes, because we're making in our policy making and in our decisions making, we'll always try to consider them as much as we can. As I said earlier, a woman, when it comes to a woman, empathy will always dominate. Even even in their personal space, in their
Yeah.
family levels, empathy will always dominate. So even in leadership position, even in political positions, empathy will dominate. We've seen that before. Yes.
Okay, what will you do with your manifesto? I give you 30 seconds. What will you do with your manifesto?
Like what I'll promise people to do.
Yeah.
I'll
What now? You write your manifesto. What will you do with it after you've written it?
See, I'll come and definitely I'll say it to people. This is what I promise to do. The only difference is this, Jeff.
Yeah.
A woman will never overpromise. Yes.
Okay.
We can promise as little as we can, but we always deliver. More often than not, we over deliver, but our promises are usually less. Yes.
Okay. I've always been wanting to make sure that our manifesto have only 3 items. Then we close it. Okay. Thank you. Your final words. Then we shall call it a show.
Thank you so much for watching us.
Yeah.
Thank you also. EBN is a very nice space for youths to come up and speak their voices. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to represent our youths and women, most especially in this season.
Yeah.
So thank you for watching. Till next time. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Remember, you've been watching EBN, The Spheres of Life. Tonight's topic has been leadership in women, women in leadership. We've read your comments, we've seen your engagements, and we know that moving forward, we shall have a great society. We shall have great governance in leadership. So thank you for watching. Thank you for staying all the time watching us. And EBN TV remains every time the biggest TV of all time. And this is your favorite. And after this, we shall have a sermon from Esther Obasike. Thereafter, we shall have your Christian World today with Fred Gilly. This has been the Spheres of Life. I've been your host, Jeff Kimayu. Until next time, we bless your week. Have a great night. Thank you.